Hello. 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 Hello, everybody. What is it? Yeah, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. I don't even, what's that even supposed to mean? That's Thursday. Like, that's supposed to be representative of anything? Hold on a second, please. All right, sorry about that. Okie dokes. Let me see here. So yeah, today is head empty Thursday. For those that don't know what that is, that's where essentially I don't have anything particular in mind to talk about. You can basically bring anything you want to the table. It could be, you know, more zoidy type concerns and um, life shit, or it could be random crap that's in your head. It could be schizo crap in your head. It could be autist crap in your head. Whatever kind of ADHD crap. It could be interests you currently obsessed with. It can be hyper focus at the moment that you want to just like yammer about. I don't really care. I don't really have like a goal in mind for Thursdays, except for like to entertain myself with whatever nonsense you might help fill my empty head. Usually by Thursday, I'm just like want the week to end. Um, Today, I'm feeling incredibly bored. I realize like a malaise and a boredom. I've been feeling like that most of the day. Just kind of okay, like you know, it's just Thursdays often like that for me. So um, yeah, see if you guys can bring something to the table that might be of interest. Like I said, it doesn't have to be relevant to like the channel or the stuff I usually talk about. It can be, you know, or maybe you want to just bitch about something. You put it in chat, talk about some shit. Maybe you want my take on something. I can provide that. It's useless as it may often be. Um, yeah, those are your options, I guess. Oh, and you can drop it in the chat, or you can join the VC that I'm in right now, which I will be undeafening myself. So if anybody wants to join and talk about whatever, you're more than welcome to. And you'll get my oftentimes unhinged perspective. Or we'll just talk nerdy. I'm okay with that too. Something I've been enjoying is my daughter, my little one. She likes Mario. She likes Super Mario a lot. So much so that she wants that to be her next birthday party theme, which I'm fine with. And I was actually showing her an episode of Super Mario Land, the old cartoon, because that one has Yoshi in it, and she loves Yoshi apparently. So that was cool. Um, I think the meds are kind of doing their job in some regards, but I'm still adjusting to it, so it's got me feeling kind of So that's probably what's not helping. Um, yeah, I don't know. My head's, like I said, my head's pretty empty right now. I'm here if anybody wants to fill it with something. Or get the ball rolling on anything. I don't care what the subject is, to be honest. I'm sure there's plenty in the world occurring that might be of interest to discuss. I was, earlier today, somebody had sent me a link to this cognitive neurological work and studies and discussion, but I don't feel like trying to explain or talk about it right now because I don't want to be the one kicking that off. Maybe I'll talk about it. I don't know, Tuesday. By the way, Saturday stream is canceled. There's gonna be stuff going on in my house, which is gonna like involve a bunch of people coming to where I live, and it's gonna make streaming near impossible. So no stream this Saturday. I know you're all devastated and disappointed. All of you are just crying in your pillows over it, I'm sure. Oh man. Yeah, feeling pretty despondent. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know if it's med stuff or bad sleep stuff or whatever. It just hits me sometimes. It's kind of like random. I might feel like a bit later, I'll feel a bit later. I don't know, I'll feel a bit better in like an hour or 2, 3, who knows, or not at all. I have no idea. It's kind of like I was feeling okay about 3 hours ago, kind of just neutral and pretty chill, and now I'm feeling kind of nauseous and bored and annoyed. I'm not sure why. Still on Space Marine, I just started digging in the other day, though I've seen you in that game anyway. No, I beat the first one just because I wanted to try it before, eventually if I play the second one. But it was okay. It was fine. The Space Marine, the problem with something like a Space Marine game is that, like, most people probably want to play it for the power fantasy. It comes with being a fucking Space Marine, but I don't know. I don't really get that into that. I'm more interested in like what the little plot is and the weapons, and I'm more interested in the orcs that I was fighting in that game, and the dynamic, like the script and stuff. That was interesting. Some stuff was fun. Some stuff was really goofy in it. One thing that bothered me, and it's probably going to be the same shit in the new game, is I don't like that they're not wearing their fucking helmets. Like no one, none of, all three of the main Space Marine characters that you travel with, like no one's wearing a fucking helmet. There's even like a scene at the beginning of the game in which like he goes up to one of them and he hands them his helmet, but nobody actually puts on the goddamn helmet. And I really like the design of the Space Marine's helmet, and I like the way they look when they're wearing the helmet. I don't need to see their fucking heads, and also just it's kind of like annoying because I have all this shit flying at me and explosions and stuff, and I'm supposed to just believe that like their head's not going to be affected by all this crap flying everywhere and bullets and zinging past them. So it's like there's only, man, like usually like it depends on the conditions and what they're fighting and stuff, but most Marines wear their fucking helmets. Most Space Marines wear their helmets. Maybe a Primarch can get away with it because they'll have like a variety of other things, like the fucking Halo and like other shit to protect them. and psionic powers and shit, but like depending, like I said, on the Primarch or the individual. But yeah, Space Marines don't generally run around fucking bareheaded. I think a lot of Space Wolves do. They're crazy though. But yeah, they don't. So it kind of like I think they did that because they wanted to like let you emphasize the characters. Like, oh look, it's the characters. You need to see their faces to like become connected to the Space Marines or whatever. And I don't know. I didn't need that. So I didn't need to see their eyes and their face. I just wanted to see Space Marines say cool shit and blow crap up. Like, it's funny because like I feel like a lot of people play like Space Marine because a Space Marine game because they want to be like they want to feel like they're the Space Marine, right? Like kind of self-insert into it or something. I just like watching Space Marines do Space Marine shit. Like I'm perfectly happy just watching the Space Marines not pretending to be a Space Marine. So yeah, I like the world and I like the absurdity of it, and it's really fun and crazy. Anyway, yeah. But that game's done, and I'm not paying $60 for the new one. Or whatever. I'll wait like 2 years. Wait for it to be half that. And then by then, they'll have a bunch of patches and fixes. I don't understand why people like to buy video games when they come out. Like, that. I cared about that when I was like a kid. Maybe a teenager. Like, the console years. Yeah, like maybe. Because, like, whatever you got is what you got, right? So if you bought the game when it came out, and it was for your PS2 or whatever, that was it. Like you got the full game, right? There's not going to be any patches. There's not going to be any fixes. Like they had to have a complete fucking game that runs properly. Nowadays, everyone's fucking releasing their Steam like with all kinds of fucking problems, thinking, oh, it's cool. It'll get patched up in like 3 months, and I'm like, why would I buy this game when it comes out? That's dumb. I'll just buy it a year from now when all that shit's fixed and then get it cheaper. I don't understand the rush. I think I've talked about this before. I think it's because most people want to have some kind of social experience with it, or they want to play it because it's a hot new thing, and then they could talk to their friends about it or play with their friends or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm like, I don't play that. I don't really play a lot of co-op games. I could see wanting a co-op game when it first comes out, like that's primarily co-op, but like a single player game or like a sandbox, like why? Like why would you need that? You know it's gonna have all kinds of problems. It's silly. I don't know, I find it really odd. Yeah, I'm usually pretty happy about waiting because there'll be like a fucking stupid game of the year edition, or there'll be a bunch of DLC out for it already, and then they'll package it together, and it'll end up like costing less than when the game first came out, just because you get it like 2 years later, and you'll pay like $30 for like the game and like all the DLC that was sold separately before in a bundle. And I'm like, yeah, I can wait. I'm not. There's very, very few games that I can imagine wanting as soon as they're out. That died with the advent of patches in both console and PC gaming, because now everyone's releasing their shit crappy. It's the same thing with consoles. Um, like I don't understand unless you're loaded. I guess I don't understand why anybody buys the PS6 and that shit. So the new fucking hyper ultra big dick Switch that's gonna come out. Like why they would buy that shit when it comes out? It's always fucked up, buggy, garbage. There's barely any fucking launch titles. Like, I don't get it. And it's weird too, because I feel like normies will sometimes buy that shit because they also want to like be able to tell their friends, like, "Oh, I bought the new, big, filthy cock 5000." Like, I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. Like, they want to be able to tell their buddies, like, "Hey, you want to come over to my house and play with this fucking stupid machine that's all full of bugs that everyone's talking about?" I don't know. It's dumb. Oh, there's a setting in the new one to toggle helmets. Ah, cutscenes I'll deal with. That's fine. I don't want to be in the middle of a firefight wearing my Space Marine just fucking no helmet. Like, what the fuck? That's stupid. Bringing back to an era of pure C programming and insane platform-specific optimizations, when programmers needed to know what they were doing. I mean, we're gonna start getting like AI-generated games, so. I mean, if they're good, I don't give a shit. Somebody, I think it was there's a guy I listened to that brought up that subject of like, oh, AI generated games or whatever. And one thing they brought up that was kind of optimistic, not negative. It was, oh, cool. So once we can get AI to just build a game out of ideas that we have, the people that are going to take over the gaming industry are going to be writers. And they're probably going to produce more interesting narratives and ideas into games, and it'll be a lot less style and more substance. It's like, maybe that will, like, because then you don't have to be an artist to like to come up with designs. You could just say, oh, I want it to look like this. But one thing that they said that was interesting too was like, just because we're gonna be able to have AI build us games and shit like that, it's still gonna depend on the intelligence, talent of the individual writing the fucking thing, right? Because you're still gonna get trash. It's just gonna be easier for like a bunch of jokers to make a bunch of fucking stupid shitty games. They're just gonna get like propagated all over the goddamn place. So yeah, that's this guy like called Harmful Opinions. He's like an autistic streamer, but he's like very based in many ways. So yeah, he's like he's an autistic streamer that like constantly complains about like the infantilizing of autists and like the infantilizing of people in general and all kinds of shit like that. He's a funny guy. Not the nicest dude, but funny. But he made a good point about that. Like, it's like, okay, people that have no imagination, no creativity, and no ability to create things with good style and substance, they're still going to be making shitty games, and people are still not going to like them, even with the advent of AI assistance. So that's kind of cool to think about. Like, imagine horror, like actual good, solid horror writers, not horror artists, making horror games. That'd be crazy. Yeah, because it's not always. It's rare to have somebody that's both a good artist and a good writer. That's like that's a tough thing to find often. Usually, most people are either one or the other if they're going to be one of those things. You get when you get both. My little one. 1 second.
Can streaming hear me if I talk right now?
What'd you say?
I was just seeing if there's. I didn't know if you like when you mute yourself, it mutes me too. So I was like, "Does stream hear me?" And then I heard myself.
Oh yeah, you can still talk. Um, hey Saren. Um,
Hey,
so, uh,
you're talking about like AI and like horror movies and stuff like that, right?
yeah, I was
Uh,
talking about how like you're gonna have writers being able to produce things like things that would normally require um, visual art skill. Um, they're gonna be able to produce something of some nature with writing alone.
well,
So it's
like
interesting.
how I feel like they could use AI for that kind of medium is like you basically train a model by like having participants like go into a lab and you like show them different images that you train the AI on and it and you collect data from like their brain waves of like how freaked out they were or whatever, like increases in their amygdala or whatever the fuck. And then you give that data basically to the AI, and so it creates a predictive model for like images that are the most terrifying. And so like you could create like villains and stuff like that way.
Yeah, yeah. So you can use that to have visually effective
We're trying to go for like shock
creations,
horror.
and
Yeah.
then still have have the emphasis be on originality of like narrative and things like
Yeah.
that. Well, one of my favorite things about horror and AI right now is that all the horror guys out there are just using like the most. They like using like earlier forms of like or earlier or other types of like AI. They'll like take advantage of like the creepiness of the uncanniness of some of the stuff that it produces currently,
Mm.
and so they'll be like weird uncanny looking shit, but they'll like make edits and compilations of that, and it's pretty fun to watch with like music, like original music that they compose that's like supposed to be unsettling, and so they'll just like do weird shit like that. It's pretty funny. They're like the things that would normally be hallucinations and errors on the part of the bot producing the video. They're
Mm.
like trying to find ways to optimize that and exploit it to produce like creepy shit. Um, it's pretty
I feel
funny.
like I feel like AI could be especially good at that because it's already has the issue of like normally the problem is like it creates things that are uncanny because we're like trying to replicate like human shit, but it just doesn't get like everything 100% right. Um, like I don't know, like certain things it just messes up, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's people exploiting the flaws and turning them into assets
right,
for like certain types of like goals. Like they don't want realism. They want like uh just uncanny shit or like weird shit or stuff that would normally be like physically impossible. And stuff like that. Like it's pretty interesting. Eyes whose edges bleed into the face is something I used to see with AI images. Yeah, yeah. So they'll use that. They'll like take advantage of that. Like they might even actually use models of stuff um, that they'll that are like a pre the older models of certain types of things, like bots and shit, in order to take advantage of some of that like imagery, right? So like even if somebody's making one of those low poly type horror indie games type shits, and some of them are really cool. They can like use AI to like create texture assets and like weird shit like that to or like faces or images like still images or like weird gifs out of video that they make using like underdeveloped AI like models, and then put those into their actual like game with
yeah,
their own like like engine made like whatever assets that they created like themselves, and like just mix shit up and make things all crazy and weird. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of fun shit they can do.
What's scary is like how good like the deepfakes are getting. It's like to the point now where they can do it live.
Yeah. It's just gonna create a market for things that can detect it, and it's gonna create a market for things that can combat it. Because, like I said before, anything that negatively impacts people in positions of power, they're gonna pour money into finding ways to control and negate any damage it could cause them. So,
But
yeah,
the only problem I have with that is that, like, even today, you see stuff that gets blasted on social media that's like obviously fake or like
yeah,
propaganda, but then a bunch of people will like end up repeating it or believing it.
yeah, it's pretty
And
normal.
and so it's like we're already at that point even without AI. Like I just like I worry because like right now we have like the technology to disprove like most of like propaganda, like all this kind of like manufactured stuff.
Yeah,
But like the problem is like it's much easier to spread disinformation than to get the proper information out to people
but
who have already been misled.
yeah, but like I don't know. I think it's just gonna make people more wary of stuff and more like they're gonna find they're gonna find some other way to test things. Like, for example, they'll come up with an app or something, or some kind of something that'll basically let you run images or video that will help you detect whether it was AI generated, or if it used assets from like stolen like assets from other things on the internet in order to produce it, or if it's like a self-perpetuating thing where it like got the images came from other AI generated shit. Like, if it could follow the cookie crumb trail back, it can kind of somewhat determine whether it's just something generated or something that was like created.
But what I'm understanding is that like the problem is I feel like once AI gets good enough, like so I believe right now they're using other AI models to essentially detect like stuff that AI outputs. But the problem with that is like the stuff that it's outputting is probabilistic, so that's why it like hallucinates. But like the checks and balances on that are going to be probabilistic too. So like you can't.
Yeah.
You're almost never gonna have a situation where you're like, oh, this is 100% AI.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can kind of determine how much, well, at least to some degree, how likely it is that it's been generated, to at least a decision-making point, at some point or another. And if like the ability to process that analysis increases along with the technology that becomes available to us, then it'll probably just keeping up for, I don't know, probably within at least my lifetime. So, I don't think it's going to be a problem within my lifetime. I think it will be, and once it becomes a problem, it's going to get shut down really quick, and there's going to be nothing but private companies trying to like win the race of we have the best AI detector thing, and so that's going to spur on any technology to be able to pick it apart and differentiate it. So, and there'll also be like regulation. There'll probably be like enforcement of safeguards of use and shit like that. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world scenario that a lot of people imagine, or even I would have imagined it was.
Here's my prediction. Like, so in the next couple of years, I feel like there's going to be a very sudden shift to like, so in like the cybersecurity world and like public safety or like PSA and stuff like that about like scammers and like how to keep your data safe and all that.
Yeah.
Well, now that like deepfakes can be live, like there's gonna be so many more like different kinds of scams and like ways
Yeah,
that like scammers can emotionally like manipulate people now. Like they
yeah,
could like pretend to be your family member or something.
yeah. You're gonna get a call
But
on Discord, video call on Discord,
yeah,
and it's gonna
it's
be
like
like it's
they're
gonna
like,
be like
wait,
a,
can you show me it's you? And I'm like, yeah, you can video call me, and then it'll be like them, and like their grandma will be like, okay, I guess I'll give you
or
like 10 grand.
instead of like just stupid text messages from girls saying, "Hey, I think you're cute," it's gonna be like a video of somebody like on a call, like that's like, I don't know, naked or something, and then trying to sex you up and take your credit card information. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's gonna be like way crazier. I know, but it's still gonna be stupid people falling for it. We're boomers, so um, they're the more up to date generations are gonna be like aware of what sort of things to look out for, and also have probably the tools and the plugins and everything else to detect it or deal with it to varying
I don't know,
degrees.
man. Like
I don't think it's
the
gonna get that crazy that we're gonna hit some fucking like that quick. Nah.
like I'm not a hacker or anything, but I like to keep up with like hacking news and like cyber security stuff sometimes. And like I don't know, there's a lot of sophisticated stuff out there now today. Like not just scams. Like your average scam, of course, is not that sophisticated, but
I mean, I'm still
like
getting like
if you're not
AI
thinking, like
generated
you can sometimes see
emails.
an email. Yeah, like you can see an email sometimes and just not be thinking, and then like click on the link, and then you're like, and you look back at the email, I'm like, oh shit, that's like, you know, that's gonna steal my data. But like, there's I don't know. There's even hacks like I mean this is more like the government level, but like private companies have developed these, so it's not like out of the reach. But like essentially, I believe like they can just without even like you opening a text or something, they can
Mhm.
just send a text to you, and then they'll have full access to your phone, like everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a lot less worried about scammers. I'm I'm more worried about the way private corporations in the state will exploit and use this sort of stuff. Then, like, I'm a lot.
oh yeah,
That's
well they're already using it in like war, like in
yeah, like
the
for propaganda stuff and all that.
Israel Palestine conflict. They're already using it for like targeting and stuff like that.
Well, no, also like the creation of like incendiary war crimes that like aren't actually happening. Like a video of like a specific like location getting bombarded or something. Like there could be like a, I don't know, let's just say something explodes somewhere because of like non-war related reasons, and then all they gotta do is sync that up with like AI generated footage of like fucking ballistic missiles hitting something, and then put that shit out, and then it's like, oh, but look, the damage really did occur, but it's like because of some other reason or whatever. Like, it's just there's so much that it's gonna compromise like national, like if they don't, that's the thing, if nothing's done about it, it's gonna compromise national security in a variety of ways. And I I'm pretty sure they're very ahead of that and aware
Oh,
of that.
you want to know? You want to know like my kind of tinfoil? This is like one of like the basically one of my only if few like tinfoil hat kind of theories. But like
Sure, why
I
not?
think the
It's
government.
empty head
I
Thursday
think
or head
that
empty Thursday anyway, so
I think like the U.S. intelligence community has already cracked encryption.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Well, like I don't know with what is it called quantum computing.
Yeah,
They're saying like probably within I don't know. This could probably be wrong. I might be fucking wrong. Don't take my
I
word
don't
for
know, man. For
anything.
all we know, I don't know what's going on
But like
this
they're saying like the next 5 years or something, like quantum computing might be able to like completely break encryption, like our current encryption methods.
yeah.
Or
That's why
something
a
like
lot of
that.
people argue that all that encryption stuff with blockchain shit is gonna just become obsolete or something
Yeah.
once that occurs, and so on and so forth. Yeah, usually those MSS exploits take advantage of the phone trying to parse a URL or a file. Yeah. On
Yeah.
computing, it's not completely unreasonable. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's gonna make, but then they're gonna find methods of using quantum computing to encrypt in previously thought impossible ways, and like we're gonna have fucking fourth dimensional encryption, what or whatever.
Eighth dimensional encryption.
It's gonna be like, I don't know. But I wouldn't know. I'm stupid. I'm a dum dum when it comes to all that, so I have no idea. But I one thing I do know is I have not faith, but I believe in human ingenuity, exploitation, and opportunism, and I never count the human out to do things of to further its own interests, uh, that would basically like avoid certain end game scenarios and shit. Like I never underestimate the human to be that devious and to find ways.
You mean like you never doubt that people could fuck up like the
No,
world,
I
or
never.
like
No, I never doubt that they'll find a way to exploit, use, and manage the fuck ups, and like to avoid scenarios that will ultimately destroy all of us. Only because like there's just so many people that have so many individual interests that like
I don't
I don't
think
know.
that like necessarily tracks, because like
I don't
of
know.
course I always believe in like humans' ability to be self-interested, but like that doesn't mean you also make the smart enough decisions to necessarily avoid like catastrophic failures, right? Like these things are always preventable, but humans are not perfect.
But
Um
there's gonna be someone that's gonna want to avoid that catastrophe for possibly exploitive reasons, because you can't have power, money, control if there's nothing to control, if there's nothing to exploit, if it's just all fucking wrecked and shit. Like that's gonna be a lot harder to.
no, I'm not even disagreeing with that. What I'm disagreeing with is that like because of that, that means that we're not going to fuck things up.
No, we're gonna fuck. We can definitely fuck things up, but
Like we built nukes and we've almost had like several disasters where like if one little thing went wrong, like we would have had nuclear war,
yeah.
for example. So it's like,
I mean, yeah, it would have just taken a lot longer to recover from that. But
of course, like I think humans have the capability to like solve even like I don't know, some of the craziest existential issues we might face as like a species, but like just because we have the ability like to solve those problems doesn't mean that we'll do it right the first time.
no,
And that's what's
no.
scary, is because like you only get one chance in this life, right? It's not like a video game where you can like,
Well, it might
I
be
don't
one
know,
day.
get like retries.
Might be one day.
I don't know, maybe the Hindus and the Buddhists were all right and we get second lives.
No,
Just like maybe the universe starts
nah,
over.
bro. It's all about that Archon prison planet shit, bro. Like that's my favorite.
Maybe the universe is breathing, bro, and it's just like restarting
Yeah.
over and over. We're just
Oh
like living
yeah.
our lives over and over,
Yeah.
bro.
Nah.
It's like a circle that's like flat, and it's like, anyways. Sorry.
Bruh, I'm tired. Um, but yeah, like yeah, I like the prison planet shit. It's a lot of fun with the Archons and all that. Like I was looking at a website that like has like it's so funny because like a lot of the websites that like these fucking spiritual gurus that have unlocked truth, cosmic truth. Like all their websites look like shit. Like all their stuff looks like shit, runs like shit. It's pretty funny, but yeah, there's like this website out there. I forgot the name of the guy, but he wrote like he has like a PDF. It's like pretty bananas, but it explains how to avoid the that prison planet grid that the reptilians are gonna use to reincarnate you. Like, and the idea is that reincarnation isn't a spiritual necessity, or it's actually like a big trap that like an alien species is just that feeds off us, is using to keep us on the same planet, to be able to harvest us, like no different than we do cattle and shit like that. It's like crazy. And so like the idea is that you die, and then like they meet you at the gates, like, right, or whatever, like that the actual light that people see in NDEs is actually like the equivalent of a what do they call it, like one of those zap bug lamps.
Oh.
Like it's just kind of like, oh yeah, look, it's pretty, right, go there, and all it does is like erase all your memories of that life and then just throw you back into the fucking blender, so that you can live another life full of pain and joy that they could eat and shit like that. And so yeah, it's pretty funny stuff. The guy who, one of the guys that's like a guru for this kind of shit, like he wrote like a instructions on like what you're supposed to think and do and how you're supposed to react if you have an opportunity to, like, say you're like dying on your deathbed, or you're gonna die soon. You could like mentally prepare to like avoid the trap, and and like, and the idea that like these things or whatever, they're gonna appear like your family members, they're gonna appear like loved ones, they're gonna appear like gods and deities and whatever they can emotionally like use to get you to agree to reincarnate or to go toward the thing. Because I guess like that's the one that they can't, there has to be self-made decision, and they'll do everything, exploit everything to like convince you, yeah, no, you have to go back and live again.
I swear to God, I played a video game where the ending was like that.
Shit. Yeah. It gets into like Gnosticism and all kinds of other shit. And like, yeah, but this guy's just, they say like, I think David Icke was into that shit too, mixes in with all the reptilians and like, and then people arguing, well, it's not really, they're not really malevolent. It's just like, that's what they need to consume. So, they don't see us as anything other than like, cattle. And that there's like multiple planets with humans on them, like in different parts of the galaxy, that they basically just use us as like farms. So it's just like a big farm.
When are we gonna get harvested? It's been a while.
No, everyone gets harvested all the time. Every time someone dies or they suffer or whatever, like there's just
But then the meat isn't as good. Like, what do you want to eat? Like,
well, they're not eating. Like, they're not physically eating us. Like,
what do you mean? Like,
they're consuming the according to these ideas, they're consuming the psionic energy that we produce from like either being happy or agony or
psionic, like psychic. Like...
Yeah, it's supposed to be because they're like they're supposed to be like low vibration beings that feed off low vibration stuff, and humans are really good at producing low vibration shit, like psionic shit, and so that's why they farm us. Because
they're dirty, disgusting, low vibrating humans.
Like little, and we're always like super low vibrating because we're always all about fucking stupid shit like lust and all kinds of shit, power hungry and status seeking and blah blah blah. It gets so bananas, and that it gets like that's what they channel into a resource or something.
The moment
that's why they keep that's why they keep reincarnating us. You're actually just like losing that, like they're wiping your soul every time or some shit. It's so funny. So like huh?
Alright. Never mind. It's like, okay, I guess that's not as bad. Like I thought they just like eat us, you know, like.
No, they just keep wiping us over and over, so you can never like actually like move on to the next step of human spiritual evolution or some shit.
It's
And
like Men in Black.
it's funny. Like I was looking at the website and reading through it, and like there's people commenting on the bottom. There's like people like debating about like the minutia of like some of these beliefs, and and there's people even like arguing with the guy who wrote the instructions on how to avoid the grid that'll reincarnate you, and it's saying like, no, that won't work because of this reason and that reason, and you're not taking into account this esoteric information. It's like, it's pretty amusing. It's pretty.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I like spirituality not because I like believe in any of it, but it's just interesting for me to see what people don't believe in. You
Let's
know.
see here. Are you talking about cosmic gods and stuff? Oh, well, I'm talking about like that whole prison planet like stuff, like the soul. What is it? Those like conspiracies that like get like mixed in with like reptilians and low vibration soul energy and all this like wacky fun stuff that like a bunch of people are trying to use to make sense of their world, and that they'll use like figures like Jesus to trick us into like going into fake heaven, and that religion itself is like a tool that like these harvesters like use to like create figures that they could trick us into like believing in, so that when we die they have images and they have things that we will easily just like follow and be awe-inspired by or affected by. And then I started thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, you could just as easily do this to even like an atheist, right? One, they're going to be shocked that anything's happening, so they're already going to be fucking confused. And then you just like you could use simulation theory or some bullshit, right? Like you could be like, oh no, see, look, we're the alien beings that created the simulation, and you're gonna like, some atheists might believe that because they won't be down for the God thing or the gods, or maybe they won't give a shit about loved ones telling them that they're ghosts. Like there's just so many secular ways now, especially like I feel like it's like this is just conspiracy fun stuff, but I like the idea that the only reason that like a lot of this stuff got promoted about simulation theory is because like the archons were trying to find a way to continue harvesting non-spiritual like humans, so they had to they had to like perpetuate some propaganda in order to like be able to create new imagery and things that are also like more secular in nature and non-traditional spiritual, so that they could have stuff that can convince the human souls to go reincarnate so they can continue harvesting it or some shit. Like it's so much fun. Like so now they got the atheist covered.
Nice.
They got the atheist covered that wouldn't be like swayed by religious figures, but would be swayed by like aliens or some Prometheus type shit.
What do they say that the Buddhists? I mean, they believe in reincarnation, but not like the soul.
Well, yeah, but it's
reincarnation.
I mean, they like, I don't know, it just depends. Like, that's what's kind of funny. And then like, there's people that argue that's why what's it called? That's why Buddhists maybe had it right when it comes to like the whole goal is to avoid being reincarnated, and that like Buddhism essentially that state that you're supposed to reach in order to escape samsara is actually like the type of headspace or state you need to be in to avoid the grid, the alien prison planet grid. Like it's so much fun. So like that the Buddhists had it right. So yeah, it's not that you're like, because if you escape the ego, they can't exploit it. If like the aliens or whatever. The fourth dimensional beings, reptilians.
Bro, there's like this one, like, I think it's like a Hinduism channel.
So much fun.
But it's like this podcast where I don't know. It's basically like Hinduism propaganda. But it's like I don't know.
Hinduism
So the
propaganda. I
stories on
love
there
it.
are just so funny, or like the beliefs on there are like interesting. So, oh man, I'm trying to find the channel.
Well, one of my well, if you tell me, that'd be funny. One of my favorite things right now with AI, it makes me laugh, is if you go like on Facebook, is like all these like fucking pictures of like really stupid shit. Like it'll just be like weird pictures of like religious imagery. Like it's like really poorly made, shitty looking AI images, and there'll be like all these comments of people going like, "Wow, this is like amazing. Glory be to Allah or God," or
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going
the
on?
comments on this videos are it's always like this is amazing.
Yeah, and
Like
I'm just
this
like, this looks
person is
like
life
shit. This
changing.
is just like AI hallucinations, and like, this is funny.
I
Like,
wonder like how many people
those might just be
like
bots too saying that
their
shit.
brains might actually be broken though. Like those people who are like, this is
I don't know, man.
incredible. Like I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. Some other kind of brain rot happening, but it's still pretty funny. Or it's just bots reacting that way to other bots. So, and
Well, I always feel like there's two different kinds of like, religious people when it comes to almost any religion. There's like the people who like, I don't know, kind of believe in some of the stuff or try to practice some of the things. And then there's like other people who like have no critical thought whatsoever. They just believe whatever like the authority figures in that religion told them
well,
to
if it
believe.
makes them feel safe and good inside.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's that whole human penchant to want to avoid suffering at every cost, um, and it's sometimes incredibly detrimental to the species. Trying to do that. But
Yeah.
what else? What else? Like I get. Oh, why is it doing that? No, okay. Like there's this thing I've been subscribed to for like ever. There's this guy called what's his name? They're all old as shit now too. Hold on, let me get the guy's name. It's Victor Zamet, right? And his wife Wendy Zamet. And so this guy's a lawyer. And I've been getting his like victorzammit.com, ZAMMIT. I've been getting this guy's newsletter in my email for like 15 years or something. And I always read them because they're just really, they're interesting and also kind of wacky. And
Yeah.
it's so funny because the format of the email and everything, like it still looks like some shit from like the early 2000s. And like it's like fucking some HTML basic looking shit. And what's funny about it is that it'll usually come with the same thing. It'll promote the book he wrote because he's a lawyer, and he wrote a book called "A Lawyer Presents the Evidence for the Afterlife." And you can get it on Amazon Kindle and all this stuff. And he published that one book like fucking years ago. And like this is the Friday, September 20th, 2024 newsletter. And let's see here. There's a commentary section at the top about spiritual science. Then there's like YouTube links to videos that talk about like NDEs or people that like talk about spiritual awakening and all this sort of stuff. Then there's like videos of like psychologists, psychiatrists, neuroscientists that like are into this stuff, and like videos about that. And then there's like videos about like breaking down the essays written by spiritualists from like the 1920s, and like all this stuff. It's fun stuff. Interviews. Like there's a whole fucking industry of this that's very alive. Funny enough, right? Because it's about being dead, but it's a very, very much alive industry. And one thing that I always found interesting about this Victor Zamet stuff is that I read through it, it feels really sincere. Like it just doesn't feel like money making woo woo. Because most of the stuff on here isn't like anything that would make money. There's no like, oh, buy this, you program, or get our afterlife system, or like it's just a bunch of like people that like their passion is literally that, and like helping other people like awaken to the afterlife truth and all this sort of stuff. Like they're not making a ton of money on this shit. Like I've gone down the rabbit holes to see like, and they work day jobs, like they're doing it like the same way I do what I do, right? They're just doing it as a passion project, and like they have this calling to like they feel like they have this calling to help others, you know, avoid afterlife preparation related mistakes and shit. And it's really funny because if you go like on afterlife forums and stuff, they'll get, because like, okay, so this group, the Victor Zamet, like their type of people, they're about like the whole, oh no, the afterlife's just like the regular life, and you're gonna see all your loved ones, and you're gonna be able to like, you know, fucking get all fucking cosmic and shit with all your homies and all this sort of shit, right? And then you have the afterlife people that believe in like that prison planet shit, and then you have the afterlife people that believe in like the more traditional stuff. Then you have the Gnostic afterlife people, and then you have like the adamant reincarnationist people that like it's like they're like you can't hack samsara, you must like atone for your actions on Earth and all this shit, and so that like if you go to the forums, it's really interesting because then you'll see like these different denominations of like afterlife believers, including will be more secular ones because they're not like it's not any particular religious institution or belief system that they're tied to. Kind of like this Victor Zamet one, like they believe in like a secularized version of like afterlife shit, and like it's a matter of like a type of science we haven't like quite fully grasped or something, and it has to do with like quantum shit and all this stuff, and they'll just be like debating and arguing over like their afterlife headcanon, like with like, you know, posting their sources and like having literal debates that you would find like on like the poly side of YouTube and Twitter, but about afterlife stuff. It's really funny.
Oh, for sure.
It's really
I used to
interesting. They'll
like.
be like, "There's no way, you know, this deity, this being, that's not what this book said, and the researcher that studied this, you know, and was part of the church of this." And like, anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was gonna say like I used to like kind of, I don't know, what is it, lurk or sometimes post on like this one big forum. Do you know actualize.org?
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah,
Yeah, that guy's like weird, but
it's fun.
I don't know. I kind of got sucked into his like
Oh no.
his theories and stuff a little bit when I was like a teenager and stuff.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like growing
okay.
up.
All right, I was gonna say as a teenager, I totally get it because I got sucked into all kinds. My schizo ass got sucked into all kinds of weird shit in my 20s.
I would say it lasted until I was probably like 20.
Yeah, dude. I was reading like David Icke books when I was like 18. I'm now 40, but when I was like 17, 18, I was like sitting there fucking eating David Icke type shit up. And I can see why a lot of neurodivergent people might, especially, you know, people on my side of the aisle would do that, is because I think psychologically they're just trying to make sense out of neurotypical world, and it feels so strange and insane half the time to them that they're like, it must be fucking something on a cosmic level. It must be some like big conspiracy that to create like this non-functional world or some shit, and so they come up, they're like grasping at straws, you know, trying to fucking find an answer. And that's what I was doing, I'm sure, when I was young, just grasping at straws. It's like, why don't people make sense to me? What's wrong with everything? Why do they keep making these decisions? And so, like, I guess, like, in my young mind, I couldn't just come to terms with, like, the more realistic implications of what it could be. Or I didn't have access to that information, to be honest. Especially since it was, like, the birth of the internet and stuff when I was at that age. So yeah, you know, it's just fun.
It's also a way to like, I don't know, I think it's escapism sometimes, like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, There's
But
some of that. Trying to make, like I said, you're trying to escape into a world, an inner world and headcanon theory that makes more sense to you than like the world you actually inhabit, and the seeming chaos that it seems to run under, the kind of just mindless chaos. And
yeah,
yeah, um, they're trying to find like an answer to the nihilism that like um, puts fear in their fucking heart. I would personally prefer to dissipate into the ether from whence I came. Well, that's what's so funny. Like they could take, like, if we're talking about all that prison planet shit, karyotype, like they could take advantage of that. They could just be like, oh, like you should do it because you'll become one with the universe, and go ahead, step into the chamber of oblivion, and then like karyotype will be like, oh, finally, and then they'll just like fucking throw your ass back on the planet to suffer some more. Yeah, shit like that. Yeah, and then like the idea that like people that remember aspects of their past lives are just they're errors on the part of whatever systems they have in place to erase your ass and then throw you back in. Yeah, it's so much fun. AI is really fun and interesting. I think most schizoids would love it if they tried, because you can have purely information, curiosity satisfying purely one-sided conversation anytime. Somebody asked me which afterlife I wish would like to be true. I don't see any point. I don't see any point in like wishing for something like that, because I have beliefs when it comes to that, but I know they're just my subjective beliefs. But I think it's pointless to think about the one I wish was true, because if it's going to be something positive, and I don't think that's what awaits human souls, is something positive. I don't think it's going to be necessarily negative. I just think it's going to be more of the same bullshit. So it's going to be very disappointing to everyone. That's my personal belief.
you know what?
It's going to be disappointing to most.
You know how I explain like the universe to myself, like probably since I was in high school, and still kind of now. I kind of see it's being possible, and it's not like that spiritual, but like basically that like the universe, like since the Big Bang, I don't know, like the universe has like this massive, expansion, and then my idea was like eventually, I guess, like things come together because of gravity, like gravitational forces, and eventually that becomes so intense that it becomes,
Are you
that
talking
one
about
point.
the cyclical
Yeah,
creation, destruction of the universe? Yeah,
yeah. So like basically, like
yeah, I know that one.
the universe is random every time. Essentially, like
Yeah, you're just getting another.
it's a
It's just RNG, and you get another reroll. The universe gets a reroll.
yeah, like
Every
it's not like your
millions
life
and billions of
continues
years.
to exist, but like the universe always exists. I guess is kind of what I think.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
I always thought it was funny to think that if the universe is like constant, eternal, and everlasting in whatever way, there's a possibility, even if it is infinite, then there's a possibility that you not you will just reappear again at some point, like that same combination of like atoms and whatever, and at some point in the mathematically infinite, you're gonna get recreated, even if it's like you won't be aware that you've been recreated. That's what some people think about like the human species and stuff, that it's like this isn't the first time this process has occurred, evolution, a Dorothy planet producing humanoids and all this sort of shit, like that this isn't like the first time this has happened. This has happened countless times, and we're going through the same old spiel again.
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy to think about like the whole samsara concept, like endless rebirth, like not like the idea of escaping your individual samsara type situation doesn't necessarily save the species from it. Like it's just because it's going to happen to all of them again, even if like they individually find a way out. Eventually, even that will end, and then it'll just restart. So there's like a meta samsara. It's pretty crazy. That's kind of like what you would be describing, like kind of what you were saying. It'd be like this meta samsara. Like there's just like no.
Yeah, I don't believe in the micro samsara or the whatever the
reincarnation cycle. It's just going to be a universe-wide reincarnation cycle.
Yeah, and it's not like the same people exist or your memories exist into the next universe. It's just like each time there's like maybe life or maybe not life. It's just like the random explosion and then like the particles or whatever go over the. I don't know. I'm not fucking dumbass, but
yeah, I know. I get
yeah.
it. I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's just a reroll, continuous reroll that we don't know how many times it's actually occurred, and we have no way of measuring, at least not yet. If there were ever a way to measure how many rerolls have occurred.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Unless it's a continuous, endless, infinite timeline, and we haven't figured that one out. In which case, it's just kind of... It's really funny, because like even within the context of an infinite timeline and infinite expansion, there would still be rerolls because of the same thing sometimes, like you hit doubles.
Yeah, let's get doubles, bro.
Snake eyes. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
If reincarnation is real, I definitely don't want a rerun of this life. Ugh.
Wow. Too bad you don't get to pick.
I'll take a rerun of this life, but I
Really?
think I should be able to make some extra changes. I will even be willing to pay for the extra changes by whatever,
But
drinking some cow
what's
poop or
that
whatever it
fucking
is that
New
the
Game Plus
Indians are big
bullshit?
into.
Infinite
Yeah.
New Game Plus. I'm good. Fuck.
Infinite New Game Plus, is that what it is? Okay.
No, it's just I was talking about. Well, you got here a little late before it was. I don't know if you heard me talk about the prison.
Yeah, I heard some of it, but I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. You guys were just blabbling.
Yeah, well, it's Head
Empty Head Thursday.
Yeah, I don't have a topic in mind. It's just kind of floating. Whatever anybody wants to bring to the table. I didn't bring the subject to the table. It just kind of happened, I think. The questions got asked.
I'm just yapping.
Yeah, Thursdays is for yapping. 100% yaps. It's the yap stream. Floating through yapping ether. I think it's okay to do sometimes. I think it's healthy. I think it's it's part of the I think it's part of the human experience to sometimes just yap.
Only thing I worry about is that like I'm annoying people.
Well, that's a silly thing to worry about.
I know.
I never worry about that.
Yeah, don't even worry about that, man.
We know Withers doesn't worry about that. You know,
Nope.
Constantly.
I worry about it and I don't at the same time. It's like part of me doesn't give a shit because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna like.
What's the worst that's gonna happen?
Right, but also like, I don't want to be like a nuisance, So I can't just say whatever the fuck is.
I mean, I generally avoid being pointlessly damaging to others, but that's about it.
Right.
Like I don't care about like someone finding me annoying. It's like okay.
I don't.
Like, okay, so I'm annoying now.
Fair.
What? Stop listening to me. I'm not making you listen to me.
I don't avoid that.
Yeah,
that other thing.
I don't care if somebody hates me. There's very few people that like I care about hating me, and that is a very, very small number, and that's about it. Outside of that, I don't care who hates me, dislikes me, who I annoy. It's fine.
I don't know. I feel like we talked about this, but like, it
So,
probably
you know,
like this like idea or like fear that like I could just be like narcissistic or sociopathic or whatever. Like,
yeah, that happens
so
to a
like
lot
I
of
don't
Zoids.
know.
That happens to a lot of Zoids. They have like this fucking preoccupation with the thought that like, oh, maybe I'm insane, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm this. I used to think like when I was younger, I used to think like, oh, am I a sociopath? Am I a psycho? Like, why don't I have the same set of morals and ethics as like the vast majority of people that surround me? Why don't I care about these emotionally charged, these things that people find emotionally charged and I don't understand and I don't find emotionally charged? And I have like internal thoughts about things that I am emotionally charged about, but other people are telling me that those things are pointless or selfish or don't really matter. And so then what if they're right and I'm wrong? I am insane. I am losing my mind and all this sort of shit. Yeah,
That was all true.
I had a lot of anxiety about that kind of shit. Like a ton of panic attack levels of anxiety when it came to that kind of shit.
What wasn't healthy for me is like I used to binge watch videos about like cluster B disorders and shit. And I would
E or A?
constantly
No, B.
I don't know, like I would
You would like
it wouldn't
think, is
even
that
like
me?
it wouldn't
Is
even
that
like
me?
fully
Is that
apply to
me?
me.
Is
Yeah,
that me? I
I'm
must be
like
this.
maybe I did that. Like
Is that
yeah,
me?
like
Am I doing this? Is this
yeah,
the kind of person I am? Am I causing this harm right now? And you don't
yeah.
realize it because I'm mentally ill? All this sort of stuff. Yeah. Hold on.
Turns out we was cluster A and we were causing different types of harm.
Yeah.
Lils.
No, but like I'll see like videos or something or like somebody will like react to like something someone did to them or something someone said or something, I don't know. And they're like, I can't believe they did that. That was like so rude. I'm like, I've said something like that before and I wasn't even like trying to be rude or I didn't think it was like something mean. And I was like, am I like just a mean person? Like I don't know, like
Oh yeah, dude. The fucking elephant in the room is just somebody getting called fat or fat adjacent or anything regarding being fat, even in a joke, even fucking tangentially or whatever. Holy fuck, people lose their minds. Fucking retarded. I mean, and I understand, like, it really like weighs on their mind or whatever. They got the reverse body dysmorphia or whatever, and fucking
well it's not
just
even like
being
that.
bigger at all is a pain in the ass in the first place. But that's just one of those types of things.
Yeah, well like I don't know. It's probably not helpful to just call someone fat. Like but like
Right. Well, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like even just like fucking any kind of adjacent shit, any kind of shit that
right.
might imply that, just any kind of thing that just fucking comes anywhere close.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
like I
doing
hate
that
when you
shit.
just can't like acknowledge reality sometimes, you know?
Right.
Like when it even applies to myself, because like I feel like sometimes people are like, oh no, like you do look pretty or like all this kind of stuff, and it's just like objectively, I'm like, you know what? Like I think to majority of people this would be crazy talk because I don't see this in myself. You know,
You're not
like
pretty.
I don't think so. But like other things too, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just tell you nice things because they don't want to like make you feel bad or people would just be like they're afraid to like acknowledge reality, like I don't know, like let's say someone's like drinking a lot, it's like I don't
Yeah,
know, a lot of
angst.
people will be like afraid to like bring it up or like even acknowledge that like it's an issue.
That's right. They are, but I'm not.
Or like I don't know, just people like don't like conflict, and I understand why. Like, I mean, I don't like conflict either, but I hate when I don't know, even things that aren't like a conflict in my mind, I guess, come across like as like I don't know. Like a lot of people, I just think take offense to things easily. Like you could just be like trying to be truthful or honest sometimes, and then people will just like think you're trying to like assault them personally.
Yep.
And it's like I actually kind of like don't even care about you, but like
No, right. The
to a
worst
certain
part is
extent,
like the people
to a certain
feel
extent though, like you also like don't want to like. It's not like you want to hurt people, but at the same time, you don't like. You weren't saying it because it was about them, you know. Like it was just whatever the fuck was in your head, I guess.
right, or it's just even tangentially, might even possibly be
Yeah.
about something related to them or somebody they know or just some shit.
Yeah.
Annoying as a motherfucker. Especially if you can't even solve a problem because you can't solve that shit up. Well, it just can't be done. It hurts somebody's feelings.
The worst is like workplaces, because like I don't know, you could be like an asshole, but like make it sound professional and nobody like bats an eye. Like you could be like a horrible person, but like speak like very professionally, like sound very nice or whatever, and you know people will love you. But like you can just be like kind of just honest or whatever, and like that is inappropriate. You would say that, and it's just like I'm just telling you like how I feel. Like not even passionately sometimes. Just be like, you know what? I don't think you're good at this.
Thought I was
honestly.
talking. I wasn't even talking. I was actually trying to respond. I was muted this whole time. That's pretty funny.
That's what I told Angst at his last review, I think.
My last what?
Workplace review.
I haven't had a review. What?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh.
You haven't had any reviews though? That's a little bit odd. I thought you'd been there like half a year. Are you not coming up on a year?
I don't know. I mean, they don't really do. It's a contractor style work. I'm not like a.
Oh, yeah, I
right?
got
So it's not
Yeah.
like it's all
You don't
about
have a performance
networking.
plan.
No, it's all about networking within the thing, like getting people to go, oh, this guy's competent and he's civil and he's nice and he does his job, and then that's how you get remembered, and shit like that. And then because we use like Slack at work, like if I say I don't talk to somebody in a long time and then they message me for like work related reasons, like they still have the history of when they last spoke to me, and they might like look at, oh, I have spoken to this person before, and then if they see positive interactions, they'll just like carry over to, you know, when I talk to them, you know, 5 months later or something, they'll be like, oh, that guy was, you know, reasonable and did his job, and he was kind of nice and conscientious. I'm like, yeah, why not? Hey, I'm bored.
I'm either like extremely conscientious when I'm not burned out. Like if I like care about something, like I don't know, I'll do extra work. I'll be like extra litigious. But if I'm like burnt out or like I'm not enjoying shit, like I can't organize like crap. Like even turning in like a timesheet is like difficult for me.
No,
Or,
I
like, I don't know.
understand that feeling. For fucking sure. Ooh, workplace guys know about the Discord and stuff? Does it cause any issues or interesting discussions? Nah, my work, the type of work I do wouldn't give two shits about what I do. And even if, and I try to keep that shit separate, and the only time I've ever mentioned it is when it's somebody that I've worked with for a good amount of time, and they're like, they're just as mentally ill as I am. So then it's like, yeah, then it's like, okay, you know, like, or they just don't, they're not, yeah. But most people don't know that kind of shit. Like, I'll mention something, but like if they're like, oh, give me the URL, I'll be like, nah, I like to keep that stuff separate because, you know, corporations be done like that, and they'll be like, yeah, I get it, and then they'll just drop it.
And I can never remember. Oh, here it is. Finally found it. Here it is. Fucking clearing the cookies in my fucking work computer. Holy fuck. This thing is slowed down as a motherfucker. I'm hoping that'll help. Probably won't.
Okay, well, it's already gonna be 8:30, so I was hoping to shake off some of the boredom. I think it's more of a chemical issue right now. It feels like it's like chemically induced boredom. It doesn't feel like it's a combination of like bad sleep, some kind of like burnout, and some anhedonia.
That's what I've got, boy. I've got the terrible burnout, can't hardly even do much. Fucking ridiculous. Holy
I've
shit.
been in this shit past few
Yeah.
weeks too.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll wear off. It usually lasts a few hours, but we'll see. I need my ADHD to kick in. It's like my ADHD turns off or something for a while. So, like the drive that keeps me moving, looking for novelty, and then finding it interesting, like the whatever dopamine that I get from that to keep me chugging along. Like it like dries up every so often, and then I just feel just completely despondent. That's kind of how I feel at the moment.
Well, there's like, I don't know, a term for that. I forget that, but like there's like a certain sensitivity you have, sort of the dopamine.
Yeah.
You get fucked up sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of how it feels right now. Like, I bet like if I went to the gym right now, like I could do like a nice workout and still feel like nothing. I won't feel better. I just feel like tired and empty. Like
How
usually,
much are you using like computers and stuff?
a lot, but some days I'll use it a lot and be fine, and other days I'll use it a lot and not be fine. Some days I won't use the computer at all on a weekend and still feel like this. So I don't know, man. It's like I don't know, guys. I don't know. All right, well, in any case, my brain's so fried right now. All right, stream's over, guys. If you like, this stream's kind of shit. It's Thursday, so it's like Head Empty Thursday. It's nothing specific. It's just a lot of yapping about whatever comes up. If you want to talk about schizoid shit or have a topic in mind you want to bring it up, bring it to the table on Thursday. Saturdays, usually I have submissions on the server, and so I'll like read kind of schizoid internal experiences regarding a question that I pose. But I will not be having a stream this Saturday because there is like a familial event occurring in my home, which will basically mean there's going to be a lot of people around into the evening, so I won't have the privacy to do this. But I will be back on Tuesday, which is usually dubbed Topical Tragedy Tuesday, in which I talk about a specific topic that's kind of been in my head. Oftentimes it's related to the topic of schizoid and mental health and shit like that. Not always, though. Sometimes it's just my own meanderings. But anyone's welcome to join and discuss them if they wish, feel like it. And if you want to support me, do so on Patreon. And like I said, my volition's starting to return. Not today, holy shit, because summer's ending. I'm trying to get some stuff scheduled, interviews and talks, but it's really, really hard. I think that's another thing I got a little burnt out on, because like I think there's like 2 or 3 things I'm trying to set up, but like I'm getting like mixed responses, or I'm being left on red. And I prefer somebody says I'm not interested, so that I can just like move on. But you know how people be, like they just kind of either feign interest or don't say anything, and so then you're not sure, and so you're like checking every so often to see if a response or anything changed, because it does happen at times. But it's weird. It's weird. Because I just want to have some conversations with intelligent people in different fields of interest. And yeah, it's a tough time trying to get that kind of shit going. Oh Lord. All right, peace out, guys. And as usual, when day is dark, always remember.